Trying this again. Day 2. It is September 24th, 2:39. It's going to be almost 80 degrees. Just nice. And I've got, hopefully, the gain turned up on the microphone. We'll see how it goes. Got a little more sleep this time. Hopefully the bags in my eyes aren't as big. I want to talk about Japan. So I've been a few times. It's always been fun. I've always gone with a friend of mine, Maury. He went to school there years ago, so he speaks the language, knows how to get around. But we've always gone with other people, so this time it's just the two of us. It's gonna be cool. The fewer people you have, the faster you can move around and stuff. So you don't have to plan as much. It's a little cheaper. Originally, I was going to go with some maybe Bungie folks after the layoffs, and people were like, I want to travel. But I had medical issues, and looks like those will be good by the time I go to Japan. So it'll be a smaller thing. Looking at the end of October to about the middle of November, so a few weeks. But we're going to try to hit Halloween there. There's a plane, sorry. It's a rich person thing. Yeah. So we want to hit Halloween there. And here Osaka has a great area for Halloween. So we'll see. Just festivals. It's not like we're going to house parties or anything. But yeah. So I want to talk about that and getting ready for a trip to Japan or an international trip. A little bit. Like I said, this is day 2, so I'm trying to fix issues. I want to figure out this whole thing in time for the trip. So I'm trying to stay to under 30 minutes because the 360 camera rolls over, and then you have to like combine the videos, and because it's 360, it sucks. And anyways, so trying for 30 minutes. We'll see how it goes. On that note, it is recording. Okay. It's hard to check with this. Yeah. So if you don't know, you need a passport, of course, to get into these other countries. And most of the time, you can be in another country for about 3 months. That's like the tourist visa that's automatically applied. Thing is, though, if your passport's going to expire within that 3 months, even if you're not going to be there that long, they won't let you in. So you really need to make sure that your passport expires maybe 6 months to a year after your trip would end. Then they'll let you through, no problem. So get on that soon if you're going to travel. So I think what we're going to do is fly into Osaka, do the Japanese Halloween version, and then travel to Tokyo and spend the last week there. For the most part, there's 3 main areas that people travel to for Japan. Unless you're from there or you know people. You have Osaka, Tokyo, and then the Kyoto area. Kyoto's much more nature-y. It's the capital. A lot of cool stuff, a lot of history. Osaka is more, I would say it's more fun than Tokyo usually. People tend to be nicer. It's less businessy. But it is also kind of weird because like the Olympics are there. So to be friendly, everybody like that lives there decided to stand on the other side of escalators, for example, like to the right side to make it more okay for travelers. Um, and they just kept it. So you can be in Tokyo and you're staying on, everyone lines up on escalators. It's kind of nice. Everyone will be like on the left in one place and then on the right in the other, and it's kind of it feels a little. It's just different enough to make it feel a little like a different place. But then you go to Tokyo, and the place is hard to describe. It's one of the biggest cities in the world. You can go up to one of the big towers, and it's just city to the horizon, 360 degrees. Um, like there's not many places like that. It's pretty cool. In general, you're safe everywhere. Just don't be stupid. One thing you'll notice about Japan is they don't actually everywhere except for here is it's a lot easier for you to kill yourself on accident. There's just fewer signs. There's fewer um, handrails for places. Like you can just walk up to the edge of a mountain in a tourist area and look down, and like don't fall off. There's just a sign. It's not like there's tons of guide rails and everything. So it is a little trippy if you're used to kind of being handheld like you are in the United States for so much stuff. But anyways, I highly recommend all three places. Um, yeah. So I kind of want to talk about the stuff we do. This would be my fifth time to go. So these are the things we always do every time. Of course, check your passport, make sure it's good, make sure there's a buffer period. Japan, you can get these uh, JR passes, and you can only buy them outside of Japan. And you often have to go to like a consulate, like the Japanese consulate, which we would have to do. You have to go in person usually. Bring your travel itinerary, your passport, and within a week or two, they will mail you this like booklet that you can just get onto almost every rail line for free. Sorry, you pay for it here, but when you're there, you just walk on. Um, and I think it even gives you discounts for the Shinkansen, the bullet trains. Um, Highly recommend it if you're just gonna be traveling around a bunch. It'll save you. It costs about $300 here. It'll save you $400 or $500 depending on how long you're there. And you just don't have to deal with it as much. Um, yeah. So you choose where you're flying in. You have your rail pass. You have your passport. By the way, if you have meds, look them up. Uh, you might accidentally become an international drug trafficker if you're not careful. Adderall, for example, is very illegal. If they find it, you're in trouble. Um, so see what meds you can bring. If you have ADHD, you might just have to deal without those meds, or you might be able to find less controlled versions from your doctor. But if you're going to go through withdrawals, do that before you travel. Um, I'm lucky I can stop Adderall. I don't have any withdrawals. I just get sleepy, but nothing painful. Um, but be careful. You really do not want to get in trouble for bringing controlled substances, even by accident, even just a couple pills. I've done it on accident a few times, but I didn't find out until later that it's a major no-no. So they do Airbnb or VRBO, whatever. There, if you want, you can actually stay in some cool places. Um, like last time I went, we stayed in Little Korea in Osaka in an Airbnb, and It was cool. You lived in a neighborhood, and the stuff you see like in video games where there's just tight alleyways and restaurants. People live on top of their own restaurant, and um, so we got to stay in a place like that. Um, yeah. So you land. I'm going to do a bunch of videos on this, so I'm just kind of jumping around. I don't have a particular plan for this, but I think it's about a 7-hour flight, and they pack these planes. I'm 6 feet, and I literally, last time I went, I couldn't get my phone cable like under my legs to plug into the seat. That's how tight it was. So we're gonna try to fly business this time. Give some more legroom. Maury's short, so he doesn't really have problems with planes, but I go insane. Yeah. You need an international power converter, so always figure that out. One thing I really like now is they have travel power strips. They're very thin, but they have a lot of USB types in there, and you can convert. You can buy different cables for it and convert it over. Anker, Anker, I think. This is one I recommend. It's very thin, slides right into your backpack or whatever. Start looking at that early. But the more you can get to USB, the better. Another plane. The more you can convert to USB, and then whatever powers that USB, you only need one power adapter to convert that over, if you can do that. For the most part, traveling power-wise is a lot easier than it used to be. Yeah. You fly, you land, you go through customs. How long are you there? They almost always will speak enough English. Uh, they know where you're coming in, what line, so just have it all ready. And then they just release you into this country, and it's like, cool, I don't know where to go now. Do I go left? Do I go right? You find the subway. And hopefully, if you have that pass, you find the right subway. I think Green Line's what you want for everything, as much as you can. Um, I think it's called JR. I'll look it up. But the first thing you need to do is learn to recognize the symbols on the map. Some of them have English depending on the station, but you have the big, massive train and subway map. Um, and you just need to know where you are, recognize that symbol, what color the line will be, and the symbol or the kanji of where you want to get off, what neighborhood, essentially. If you don't know those, if you get lost, um, good luck. Take a picture. You start to recognize your own very quick, though. Um, yeah. Then you find the right train, the right color, going to whatever symbol. Hop in there and wait. And if you're new to public transportation like that, it takes a little bit to get used to. But you have this cool thing when you obviously don't fit in because you might be taller or wider. That people give you a little leeway if you screw up. So don't feel bad. They've seen it. There's almost always helpers though. Um, yeah. So the very first time we landed It was in Tokyo. Came in really late at night. It was a Friday night. I'd say it was close to midnight. Um, got to our hotel, and you could hear crickets outside. And this is in downtown Tokyo. It was just so quiet. And we're like, well, okay. We were staying in a place called Ikebukuro, which is translates to Sunshine City. Um, so we went out. We were going to find the main strip. This is after 12 hours of airports and flying and traveling. And then, um, we go outside the hotel. I think it's this way. And like I said, you can hear crickets in the city and everything. And we go a couple blocks and take a right, and it's just bam, like Sunshine City is true. It was like light as day. So much noise, like just thousands of people walking around a couple blocks, and that's when it hits you that you're somewhere else. Um, this is like Vegas level, main big fight in Vegas style, busy, but it's every day. Um, and you're exhausted, and you're hungry, you're weirdly excited for being in a place that you don't know anything about, and then you just get bombarded, and culture shock will kick in right around there if you're new to it, and then it's just kind of like I need food, um, so you go find food. One thing I always found funny was a lot of the food here that we think of as Japanese, and it is like teriyaki. It's really only big here, um, and it's just like trying to find something you recognize because you got to minimize the culture shock, otherwise it can actually exhaust you. But it's like, oh, you're not going to see teriyaki in Japan very often. That's more street meat stuff, which are delicious too. But look for 7-Eleven or McDonald's. Um, One, they're different enough. It's the Japanese take on them. 7-Eleven is, I think, Seven & I Holding. It's actually a bank as well. Um, but grab something you recognize. Trust me, it'll be more delicious than here. Um, Everything will be individually wrapped. It's massive waste. Um, but, you know, get that food. Get that food. Calm down. Be in the noise, but don't try to pay attention. It'll all come. Um, but like I've seen people first time get panic attacks, super anxiety, and it takes you out for days. Um, so you want to minimize that if you're new. Um, but as said, it's well worth it. Um, I'll say this to anyone when you're traveling: don't be a dick. you know, be polite. Try to learn at least enough to not be rude just walking around. And I'll go into that. Like, don't eat and walk around. At least have sleeves. Don't do cutoffs. And you know, you know, you can accidentally be rude in certain countries, like Japan. Don't put your chopsticks in your food when you're not using them. Just lay them on the side. There's a lot of little things like that. But again, you're a foreigner. I'm not going to get offended. But still, you want to do your part. Be a good guest. Yeah. Yes. I'll talk more about it. Packing, um, buying stuff. There's some words you should learn. You got to learn to recognize your symbols, your kanji, name of your neighborhood. Where's the train station? I speak only English. Or do you speak English is a good one. How to purchase stuff is important. Most of the time people go during Golden Week. Just tons of major tons of cheap deals getting back. It's when a lot of Japanese people fly back home for about a week. Businesses shut down. Thing is, banks shut down. ATMs shut down. So if you're not prepared, you go during Golden Week, you might not be able to pull any money out. Or you have to hunt down the one place that you can. So those are the things you need to be careful about. But yeah, hopefully I figure all this stuff out with the cameras and the audio, so I can do this type of thing in Japan. Maybe show you Ikebukuro or Arashiyama. Yeah, I've often said Japan beat the crap out of their nature, so it is pristine, even in the middle of nowhere. But yeah, so we'll go into that. I've also forgotten a lot of Japanese, so I have to figure that out. We'll see. You don't realize how bad your posture is until you see yourself from the side through a camera or something. I was watching yesterday's video. I don't know if the audio will pick up any of the birds. There's a bunch over there. We ran into it. Normally there'd be like flickers and woodpeckers and bigger birds over there. But I'll fix that. Alright. We might see a raccoon sometime. Yeah. If you like this, tell me what you want to hear, especially about like going to Japan, questions, or just travel. I'm by no means an expert, but I have done it enough to be able to at least talk about it. Yeah. There. Well, this will be a little bit early, but I think this is a good place to stop. I still have 2 minutes and 20 seconds to my 30-minute mark. At least on my end. Yeah. Hopefully this audio is a little better, and I'm not as much of a mess as I was yesterday. I had a late night going to Birbiglia comedy show. First time I've been out in a while. Hit the bar across the street a little bit too hard. That's why I was so messy yesterday. But a little better, a little more energy. Yesterday was the last day until 2025 that we're gonna have a sunset after 7 p.m. So today I think is 6:58, and that's depressing, right? Our sunsets up here get to 4 p.m. for a good month or so of the year. So you wake up, go to work, wake up in the dark, go to work, come out in the darkness. You don't see daylight unless if you work for months. It sucks. So that's why people get so depressed here. But hopefully I can avoid that this time. Yeah. All right. 45 seconds on my watch. Okay. All right. Bye.